Ho ho! Ho ho! Let's see if anyone joins us today. Let's see, I'm just gonna put on some music for myself in the background. You can never code without good music, after all. Let's see here. So today I was asked to do some sort of diagram to show the structure of this code that we're working on more clearly. And I made this just before the stream. It's super simple. It doesn't look very pretty, but I think it shows like basically the structure. We might make a prettier version of this later. But we have our init routine. Currently we just have, I think, like one thing here. Yeah, we're clearing this register because apparently it's not being cleared automatically, unlike all other sprite regs. And currently the task of the init routine is just to initialize some regs. We are probably gonna have more things here later. For now we just have this one command. Then in main we have this sort of structure. First we're gonna have we're gonna go to a pointer based on face. Currently we're just coding one face at the start, so we don't actually have this right now. So right now it's kind of like this, we just go immediately here. But what's going to be included in the face code is attacks, and then we're going to go into physics, and then we're going to go into interaction. And I have an arrow here to hitbox just to show that we're also calling the hitbox routine from here. We could theoretically call it from anywhere, but we're probably only going to be calling it from here. After we're done with the face code, we're going to the animation code. This might actually go into the face code at some point. I don't know. And then we're going into the graphics routine, which is responsible for loading the tile map. In the future, graphics might become two separate routines. It might become dynamic graphics plus tile maps. Might need both of those later. Right now we're only loading a tile map because we don't have any dynamic graphics, but it might evolve like this. And so yeah, this might be what it looks like later, but right now it looks like this. Does that make any sense? I don't plan to save this or anything. I might make a new one later if we need it, which we might. I'm not really happy with how this looks, but I think it makes it clear what we're working with. I guess I'm not gonna delete it yet. I'll just put it somewhere else, I guess. We'll do that for now, and I can whip it up later if someone asks for it. Let's see, gonna put my phone on silent because that burp burp is quite annoying. Alright, let's go. What were we doing last time? I'm just gonna make and run this. Right, I added the hitbox to the boss when it's running. I also made sure he doesn't roll the same attack more than twice in a row, so we added some RNG control. We're probably gonna keep that method. I quite like this. It doesn't impose too much control, but also still messes with the randomness a little bit. Hello Anon, welcome to the stream. Let's see here. So what are we gonna do? We're probably going to add some acceleration to this to make it look more nice and make it more like what it's going to be at the end. And we're probably gonna make this pounds attack an actual attack instead of just nothing. The only reason we even added this in the first place was so we can actually tell what the boss is rolling when he's doing his attack. Because this way we can see, is he moving or is he not? So we know that the RNG works. But we're probably gonna make this. So let's see. Let's see. What do we start with? Do we start with acceleration or do we start with this move? I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna start with acceleration. That's what I feel like. If I was a better streamer, I would ask chat. But you guys haven't earned my respect yet, so I'm just gonna do what I wanna do. So let's see, now we need to, so we're still gonna use these values, but instead of just writing them, we're going to have some sort of method to scale the sprite's current speed into these values. And the way we want to do this is, let's see, I think we can actually use paint here to, no, paint's gonna be awful for this. So the thing with the acceleration is that we need to take something into account, and that is speed. It goes from 0 to FF, right? And the values 0 through 7F, or, well, yeah, 0 through 7F going right. And the values 80 to FF going left. There's another 0 here, so it's the same. And we also have an exception, because 0 equal to no movement, meaning that there's one less option for going right and going left. This almost never matters, because usually speeds are in this range, 0 to 40-ish, and CO to FF-ish. But what we need to do is that if the sprite speed is already negative and the target speed is positive, we always increment, right? Neg to pos increment, right? And the reverse is also true. If we have a positive speed and we're going into a negative speed, we always decrement. But if we're going positive to positive, what do? We're gonna have to compare them. Same if we're going negative. Negative into negative. We have to compare the speeds to figure this out. And something that is kind of annoying is that these two comparisons are not the same. Because here, the target speed that we want, if it's greater, we want to increment. But here, it's gonna be the reverse, that we want to decrement if it's greater. Or wait, and by what I mean by greater is further from 0, not actually like bigger on if you use the carrier flag to compare, right? So probably what we're gonna do is we can do some complicated bitwise math, and that might actually be a good idea. I know that there's a pretty good example of this in all.log, so we might bring that up. Also, great opportunity to show this wonderful file right here, all.log. This is the source code for Super Mario World. Should always keep it handy for reference. By far the most useful lookup tool you'll have when coding for this game. So let's see what we're gonna do here. I can't remember where this reference code I was thinking of is actually located. I know it has something to do with Mario's physics. I believe it was actually the acceleration code when you're on a slope. I don't remember how to find it though. Actually, I might actually have commented my all.log file here. Slope. No slope. Yeah, these look like my comments. Where are they reading this? Here. Let's see, is this what I was thinking of? Yeah, it is. And the part that I'm interested in here is the... so we see here that when we're on the slope, we subtract this big old value here from... Let's just double check here. Is this what I'm looking for? No, it might not be. No, I don't think this was what I was looking for. I was thinking about this EOR opcode here, and we use the BMI command to tell, but it looks like this one just snaps. It doesn't actually accelerate upon overflow. So you know what, screw it, we're not using all.log this time. We're just gonna close it. We're just gonna do our own thing anyway. So here, what we want to change is we go here, and when we read the target speed, we don't just store it. What we're gonna do is we're not even gonna use the sta command in reference to the speed at all. We're only going to use inc and dec. And if so let's see here. Let's do this. This might be a little scuffed. I don't actually know if this is optimal. I have not counted cycles for these, so let's see what happens. If this number is negative, target number is negative, it means that we're going to go left. If it's positive, we're gonna go here. It means the target speed is going right. And we compare to X speed. If it's equal, we're done. We go to shared. Same here. If it is, let's just make sure we do this correctly here. If it's greater, no, if it's lesser, the target speed is lesser, it means that this should decrement. We should decrement this, right? Because this is greater. So we go into dec. Otherwise, we go into inc. And we increment X speed. And then we go into shared. And I referenced dec here, so we have to add it. We're going to add it here. And now I want to set up this branch so that it does the same thing, right? But in the other way. And let's see, so we do BCS inc, right? This is greater, so we increment this so it reaches the same point. Wait, am I being stupid here? Huh. No, I think we still have to do some sort of branch. What we could do, this is what I'm thinking about. Let's just pull these together here. This time I'm not gonna separate them. What I was thinking about is that we can use the EOR operation. For example, if we load X speed Y and then we EOR X speed X here. If this is negative, it means that they're going in a different direction, right? So BMI means that they're going in a different direction, so that this comparison is not valid. But we're gonna need to reload this anyway because we shredded the A register by doing this. So I don't think this is actually going to be helpful here. This is only helpful if you're going to just snap the speed to whatever is stored in here if they're opposites, right? But we're not going to do that. We're going to have proper acceleration. So let's shred this and let's test it. It should work. Of course, I always think that, but remember what I said last time. Your first assumption when testing code should be that it crashes immediately. So let's see if that happens. It does not crash. Let's see if he accelerates. He does accelerate, and he accelerates into his max speed, then he stops. Let's see if he can actually... Oh, no, that was not good. Did you see that? Did you see that? Yeah, so here, we're going to rewind, and then we're using frame advance. Look at his speed here. Here, his speed starts incrementing really, really fast. Or rather, it increments at the same rate, but it doesn't have a cap, because he's accelerating in the wrong direction. Why is he doing that? Oh, right, I forgot to actually add what I was supposed to add, right? So the entire reason I was splitting these was so I could do this. Here, we just check the direction that he's currently going. And if he's going... target speed is right and he's going left, we do... we want to increment. And then we want the opposite of this operation on the left side. BPL deck. Does everyone know what the bit command does? This is a really handy opcode. When you use it to access an address like this, you can check the highest and second highest bits of whatever is stored here for free without actually changing the A register at all. So I use bit xspeed x, and if this number is negative, it's gonna set the negative flag. So I can just use this branch here based on this without actually changing A. So I still have this value loaded here after this operation when I'm comparing to this. Very useful opcode. Now let's see if he accelerates in the right direction. Oops. Ah, stupid hitbox. Should remove the hitbox for testing purposes. Oh. Let's see. And as you can see, he accelerates around. I think it works. Think it works. Oh, wait, what just happened? Oh, he stopped. He stopped. I thought he despawned. That's why you shouldn't use turbo mode so much. Alright, so we got our acceleration working. Let's see. I plan to keep going today for I don't know, maybe an hour more. Then I kind of, well, let's see, it's actually kind of late. For me, it's kind of late anyway. But I kind of want to do some other stuff as well this evening. So we're not going to go on for super long, but I think a bit over an hour is as much as I can do anyway before I start getting too exhausted. Let's see. So we're going to do the pounds one now. We're going to just copy this code here. These should be connected, I feel, because they're very... let's see. Now I'm starting to say that a lot. Before it was something like that, now it's let's see. Let's see what we should do. Here. This is the init code. We're gonna use a block comment like this here. We're just gonna copy this here. Like so. I kind of like including my sublabels in the code column, as I said, and I also like including them in the block comment. So we're setting this, we're making the boss target the player, and we're also going to reset his horizontal speed here. Now this will only run for 1 frame, and then on every frame we're going to just execute whatever code is here. And we're probably... We also want him to jump towards the player, right? But we don't want him to jump right away, so we can't put that code in here. So we need to make... we need to have some sort of timer inside the pounds code, right? So let's see, do we add another one, or do we just use the attack timer and we just check however much is left on it? We could do that. So let's see here. We're going to load the attack timer. And what did we set it to up here? I think I set it to 32, right? Hex 20. 3C I set it to, okay. So let's compare to hex 20. If it's not equal, we don't jump. This is part of the main code, so let's just call it no jump. Like so. But if it is 20, we want to jump. And let's just set, let's see here, X speed. We're gonna set this a bit higher than the run speed. Set it to 20 and EO. And I'm thinking of something else. I think this should actually be part of the main code here. I hate doing comments on stream. Let's see there. Yeah, this code is gonna be very uncommented. I usually comment my code a lot, but it takes so much time on the stream, so I'm not gonna do it much. Let's see. Yeah, I also get into the like OCD stuff of like I want this to be right in the middle here. So let's see. When it hits 20, he's going to jump. And we load sprite's direction, load x speed y, we store to speed x. We're not going to use acceleration here because we want a burst of speed from the jump. Then we go into jump done. No, actually we need to set vertical speed as well. Let's set it to something pretty big like CO. That's minus 64. So minus 4 pixels per frame at startup. Then we go into here, jump done, no jump, jump done. There's something else I would like to do. We don't want the attack to ever end in the middle of a jump. So we probably want to make sure that this attack timer doesn't actually run out while the sprite is in mid-air. So we're going to do this. We're going to add blocked check jump. If it's in mid-air, we we increment attack timer, I guess, so it doesn't run out, and then we go to or we just set it to 1, maybe. We just keep setting it to 1. No, we're gonna have to keep setting it to 2 because it's gonna auto decrement. And that should cause the attack to end upon the boss hitting the ground. No, I don't really like this. I think we're gonna keep the ink here because we want it to stop for a little bit upon landing, right? So it's gonna go here, it goes to main because it's already done that, it checks, and now after the boss lands, it's gonna go into check jump here. We load attack timer, we compare to 20. What if it actually hits this again? It shouldn't, because the next time it's 1F, and then it increments, and then the next time it's 1F again, and it doesn't increment. Yes, this is gonna be 1F, so it doesn't jump, we're going to no jump. But we don't want the boss to keep facing the player after landing, right? So what do we do to prevent that? I think we're gonna have to compare to 20 again. We don't need to do that, so we just do BCC jump done. Like that. That should work. Oh, let's see. Oh! Let's see now. Yeah, the boss is jumping, then he runs, and as you can see, he actually maintains the speed from his jump. Oh, he's gonna jump. Yeah, he jumps. He jumps. Oh boy, he's jumping. All right, so we actually don't want that. So when he's on the ground, we probably don't want to set his speed to 0. We instead want to just apply friction. So what we do here is, let's see, jump done, friction, let's go here, X speed, BEQ, jump done, otherwise we go into, I think this using deck 2 and then ink A, that's probably worse actually. Yeah, that's definitely worse. Like so. That should do. So we go here into friction, we load X speed. If it's 0, we're done, so we skip this. If it's negative, we increment it, so we increment A, store it back. If it's not negative and it's not 0, then we go into deck, we decrement A, then we go to .w, which just stands for write, and we write it back here. And that should give the boss some friction upon stopping. Let's see here. Yeah, as you can see, he does have friction. He's very like slippery because his friction is very low. You could set the friction to 2 per frame. Let's see here. Some stuff we actually want to add, I think. Let's see what the coin counter's address is. Coin counter. Green star? No. Coins. Mario's coins. Only used in 2-player games. That's not what we want. Isn't it like ODBF, I think? Could that be right? No way I remember that. I do, that's crazy. Current player coin count, ODBF. Yeah. So what we're gonna do here is we just take this. We just write this to no beanie process. That is never gonna work. Let's see, we do that. Haha! And now before we do that branch, we just see what the attack timer is at. So we see here, he keeps resetting when it hits 0. And if he's going to pounce, he will jump at 31. He actually jumps at 32, but then it decrements again. Alright, this is pretty sick, right? That hitbox keeps getting me, man. I should just remove it. It's so annoying. Let's see, where did I put that? Here in Bum Rush, right? Attack hitbox. Yeah. I think this should only trigger as part of a special animation, so we're going to just comment this out for now. Yeah, let's comment this out for now. It doesn't need this. So what we're gonna do is he's going to have a sort of like swipe animation when he gets close enough to you, where he'll like swipe his claw at you, and the this hitbox is going to be active only when that animation is happening, because currently this is just kind of stupid. Actually, we could get started on that right away, right? We could add a another animation entry. Let's call it attack TM1. Dynamic data 0. Hello nerdos, welcome to the stream. And right, this was something else I wanted to do. This is gonna be a lot, really very scatterbrained project overall, right? I don't really plan these things out, so I just kind of do things as they come to mind. We're going to make an attack animation. It's gonna be very simple. We're gonna make a macro here. We'll put it here for now, but we're gonna copy it to the top of the file later. Macro def anim is what we're gonna call it. Define animation and macro. And then we want to feed this two things, name and number of frames. And what we do here is we want this macro to create definitions for us. So you see here, I have 3 animation entries right now, right? I have, and they're just number 0, number 1, and number 2. But what if later I want to change this animation here to have more entries? I want to have this have 4 animation frames instead of just 2. Then I have to add these two here, right? And we get 3 and 4. But now I have to update all the entries that follow it. Same if I remove 2. Like, let's say I add these and then I update everything. So this entry says 4 instead of 2. And then I change my mind and I want to remove this. Now I have to change everything back. And like right now we only have 3 entries, so it doesn't really matter. But if we have like 100 entries, which we might for this boss, this is going to be a 3-phase boss with a lot of custom graphics and stuff. So we might end up having a really large number of frames. And we don't want to keep worrying about this. And we don't want to like bother whoever is drawing this by saying like, oh no, you can't add frames here because I already coded this and I can't be bothered to change it. Or it would be so obnoxious for me to change this. We don't want that to factor into how they draw things at all. We want them to just draw whatever will look the best. And that's what we're going to try to support with our code. So we want this to output defines for us that we can use in place of these numbers. So we're going to do this. We're going to call it, let's see, how does this work? Anim name, I think that's how you do it. Do you really want it to be that long? That's a pretty long thing to write. Why am I even bothering thinking about these tiny things? Yeah, let's just call it anim, why not? And this is colon equal to, let's just call it temp. And then we colon, and then we take temp, colon equal temp plus 1. And then we do this, temp equal to 0. All right, this is what we have to do. Equal to temp plus frames. We can also add some other defines here as part of it. Anim name, let's call it count maybe. Frames, and then let's add anim name over equal to let's see, temp plus frames. I think that's pretty good. So now whenever we use this macro we get 3 defines. we get anim name, which is going to be, for example, let's say here, def anim idle, and then we say this has 2 frames, and this is going to be, no, let's call it walk, right? This is going to be the walk animation now. It has 2 frames, it's named walk, has 2 frames. This macro will plug these into here, so we get 3 defines. We get anim walk is equal to 0 because this is the first one, but we don't ever have to worry about what this is. Anim name count will be equal to 2 because it has 2 frames, and anim name over will be equal to whatever number comes after these animation frames, right? So for example, later if we want to see which animation the boss is in, we can do anim index, and we compare it to anim walk, and if it's less than this, it's not in walk, right? So we go here, but we also need to check the upper limit, so we just compare to anim walk over easy as not, and then we can put code here, only runs in anim walk, right? So that's why I'm adding this. And the count define, I don't know if we'll ever use that, but it doesn't cost us anything to include it, so why not? So now we can add this as well, attack. And let's also put this at the top of the file so we can actually access it in our code. Here should do just fine. And now we can actually change this to anim walk +1, anim walk +0. So the only thing we have to worry about is that this list here is in the exact same order as this table here. That's the only thing we need to worry about. That, as long as that's true, this is gonna line up perfectly, and we can just use these defines instead of ever having to keep track of what's actually in the table. And that's the entire point of this table. We want to automize, automize, is that a word? We want to make as much as possible automatic, so we don't have to worry about it. Automation, baby. Attack +0. And remember, this is not, what we write here is the next animation frame. It's not actually the name of this one, so number 0 goes into +1, and +1 goes into +0, so it loops. And let's see, the attack animation, we probably don't want it to loop. So it's probably gonna go back into walk. We might even add, let's add a squat animation, why not? For the pounce attack. Let's do this. The boss is probably going to have an idle animation, so let's just add this right away, why not? Let's put this one is just gonna loop in on itself, so let's put this to FF to make sure it happens rarely, save some cycles. Here, we haven't defined these yet, we'll do that at the top right after we're done with this. Like so, we have attack, so we have idle, the test is going to become walk. This is just sort of how this works out. We'll keep using the Koopa graphics for now. They're very easy to work with, minimum effort from us. I consider making placeholder graphics, might even do that at some point, but for now we're going to use these. Let's see, attack TM2. We'll go into +1 +2 here. We'll also have, we need to remember to change these to walk. And the first frame is this one, right? Yeah, so this one is also going to be idle TM. So we have these two, then we're going to make a like squat tile map for the pounce attack. And we're just gonna have it use this shell, really. We might want it to shake a little bit, so let's do this. Let's put this to 1 so it updates very often. And squat plus 1. Back to 0. TM1. What tile is this? 8A. Let's use that. Why not? 34 is what I use for prop, huh? Here, just add 1 to X position to make sure it like wiggles back and forth. I think this will do. And then, let's see, jump TM. He's probably gonna have a special jump animation, so let's add this, why not? Also gonna loop in on itself, anim, jump. So we have a bunch of new ones. We have idle, walk. Let's make sure we add attack as well. We're just gonna add some boxes to show where the hitbox is, I think. Let's just take this one and add some boxes here. And yeah, we're gonna increment the header as well. Let's put this FO, let's see, EF, so let's, what did I make this? If we look at the hitbox here, minus 32 and minus 10. So yeah, let's just use those values. And we're going to use this tile here to show where the hitbox is, 2E. 34. We need more of these. And we're probably gonna just have one tile map for now. This will still, I'll still be able to show what I want to show by doing it this way. 0, 0, awesome. Did we add everything? Let's see, we can use this one for jump, right? Jump TM, why not? That has added all of them, I believe. Now we just gotta make sure this matches what we have at the top. I'll just do this. So this is the list. Make sure it matches up here. Idle has 1 frame. Walk has 2 frames. Attack has 2 frames. Squat has 2 frames. And jump has 1 frame. Like so. And now you're gonna see the beauty of the system, because what we can do here is we can just set the animation at the start of, for example, if we set the animation to squat tile map, it's gonna just get stuck in this loop here until we give it another number to go into. So if we go for example, so let's show it. We go on pounds. Here in init, we give it anim squat, I call it, right? And we set this to, no, not attack, anim index. And then we reset the anim timer. This is why I like to increment my animation timer instead of decrement it. I can just set this to 0 whenever I update the animation to make sure it restarts. Why do I even have this block comment here? Let's not bother removing it. And then here, when the jump starts, we do the same thing again. Anim jump, store to anim index, and then we reset the anim timer. We don't really need to reset the anim timer here because the previous animation just has a 1 frame animation timer anyway, but this is probably going to change later depending on what the graphics artist gives us, so let's just include this for safety. And then here, on bomb rush, on init, let's just make sure that we set animation to walk. Index 0 anim timer. What we can actually do is use a macro for this. Let's see. Macro. set anim. Let's just call it macro anim faster name and macro LDA name store anim index 0 anim timer, like so. And now instead of using this clunky stuff, we just do anim walk. Yeah, let's not bother with the comment. Here, anim squat, huh? And we do want to keep, do we want to keep it this way? I mean, they all start with anim, right? So let's do that here. Like so. That should do it. These two macros now go hand in hand by design. Anim index here, jump. And that should do it. Let's make it, see what happens. Walk TM2 wasn't found. Walk TM2. Oh, right, because this one is still called test TM, right? Walk TM2. I'm gonna have to refresh my music here. Let's see. Let's have this one. All right, did I update it? I did. Make. Let's see. Yeah. I don't know how well this shows on stream. Oh, right. The animation should also reset when the sprite hits the ground, right? Let's add a skid frame here. This is really fun for me. I love adding little animations. Skid TM. And we're going to use the turnaround graphics for these. Skid. No. Skid plus 0. Skid TM. Let's see, and this is going to be, let's just copy this. Oh, oops. And let's just update the time numbers to 84 and A4. Like so. And let's go here on pounds. And the beautiful thing about this is that later when we get a lot more frames, we can very easily just add these into the table, then update these defines up here, and we don't really have to worry about it. We're gonna have to write a lot of tile maps manually, but that's pretty easy to do. It's basic grunt work, but it's not difficult. It just takes a little while. Drinking some tea, which is very nice in the evening. So what I'm drinking is called kvällsro. It means evening calm in Swedish. I find it pretty soothing, pretty soothing. Let's see here, not upon friction. We actually want to make sure that this happens only when the sprite lands, right? Right, so we put this, no, this is when the sprite starts the jump. So what we want to do here actually is BCC into landing. Like so. And we want to go into skid. If this becomes a full animation later, we actually want to make sure that we're checking for it here. So this is completely redundant right now, but we're going to add it anyway. And it's going to be this. Anim index compared to anim skid. BCC go here. And then let's anim skid over BCC go past this like so. Right now, of course, there's only one skid frame, so this is completely ridiculous. Like, why am I doing this? But this accounts for this animation regardless of how many frames it has. And I think it's probably gonna have more frames later. So we're gonna leave it like this because it's going to pay off in the long term. Even though, yes, right now this is completely redundant and stupid, but that doesn't matter. We're in this for the long game. Okay, anim skid wasn't found. I guess I forgot to add this up here. I swear it's easy, guys. See how difficult that was? I know it works. So let's see if it actually does what I think it should do. Yeah. When he lands, he does that animation, then he starts either running or he does another jump. And he shouldn't be able to run this far, I think. Something is going wrong with the... Oh? Right, remove that hitbox. Let's see, how many times in a row can he do the same attack? He should only be able to do it twice in a row. No, he definitely did it 3 times that time, right? See, he runs, he jumps, he runs, he jumps, he runs, he runs, he jumps, he runs, he jumps, he jumps, he jumps, he jumped 3 times in a row, 4 times in a row, 5 times in a row, 6 times in a row. Okay, what in the world is this? What is happening? What is happening? How could he jump so many times in a row? This is ridiculous. This is not what we want to happen. This is why we added the RNG control in the first place. So let's go here now. See what's going on with this. Because these are shenanigans. These are shenanigans indeed. This is not acceptable. So let's see here what's happening. So when we're going to roll a new attack, we move previous attack 1 into previous attack 2. And we move the last attack into previous attack 1. So now we have these two set up, right? So previous attack 1 is the attack that was just finished, and previous attack 2 is the attack that was done before that. And now here, we roll the number, 0 or 1. Zero or 1. And we compare it to previous attack 1. If it's not the same, it's fine. Then we compare it to previous attack 2. If it's not the same, then it's fine. Otherwise, we add 1. Is it this that's causing it to act up? Is it this that's causing it to act up? So we add 1, and let's see here. What is this number that we're comparing it to? Pointer end minus pointer. So here it's 4 divided by 2, so we compare it by 2. If it's less than 2, so if it's 0 or 1, we skip this. Otherwise, we load 0, right? What's the problem with this? We store it to attack. We set the attack timer. What's the issue here? How could it jump so many times in a row? That's what I'm wondering. This is so scary to do on stream, because if someone sees, like, figures this out, like, right away, and I don't, then I look really stupid to them, right? And this is something I've done so many times. I've had a lot of, like, attack handlers. Why is this one acting up? Let's just replace this with the E or 1. Does this still act up? Wait, what are these set to? Let's check that. They're definitely set to sprite tables. Wait, these aren't auto-decrementing sprite tables, are they? 1534, does that auto-decrement? I know C2 does not auto-decrement. $15.34 is used as a timer, but does it auto-decrement? That's what we need to know. So let's just search for 1534 here. Decrement, looks like this is part of a sprite code, so it shouldn't apply to all sprites. Set to 0, load, or store. Doesn't look like it. I think we're past the point where it would have been if it was there. No, so this one doesn't. So what is happening? Let's try this. Prev attack 1. Store it to ODBF. We're not using SE1, so just leave it at that. Let's see if it actually changes. C9? C8? How do we get that number? That's bullshit. C9? Oh, now I feel really dumb. Remember last time I told you guys that the highest bit of attack is never used? Well, because we're doubling it here and we only have an 8-bit wide register. Well, guess what? We're not doing that here. So we actually need to, when we store it here, we need to add these. We need to wipe the highest bit. Like so. That's why it was acting up. We got a, so C9 is actually 81 in hex when it's displayed on the coin counter. And C8 is 128, or hex 80. Now it should work just fine, right? One jump. One jump. It looks to me like it's not doing any shenanigans anymore. It's definitely using controlled RNG again. Because we got rid of the flag flub, I guess we can call it. Yeah, so this this movement is actually not that far off from what the boss is going to do in phase 3, but it doesn't have a projectile. Should we add that now? Let's see, what's the time? We don't have that much stream time left today, but I guess we can make a simple projectile sprite. Why not? And we can use it later. We're probably gonna use the same projectile sprite, but with different like animation tiles for all the faces, and certainly for multiple attacks. Let's see. We are going to make a new sprite then. So we go to our list here, and let's add projectile.json. And then let's just go here, this copy paste it, I guess. Projectile. Projectile. Projectile.json, and let's see here. We probably don't want to. We probably want this to auto despawn off screen. Let's use this. I think that's what that does. And yeah, let's just keep it like that, I guess. Save. No, I forgot something very important. Projectile. Projectile. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see. And now how do we spawn this? I put this as number 1. Yeah, I think we can close this. Let's see, what is you put again? It's the print init PC and main, right? I don't think we'll put anything in init for now, so RTL. On main, we want the bank wrapper, PHP, PHK, PLB, and then we return like so at the end. And let's just draw a single tile. We're probably gonna use the same tile map loader that we already made, right? Why not? Let's just copy this. Wonderful. Here. So I need to feed this a time map pointer. Let's just make a simple time map here of the same format. And let's make the projectile a, yeah, we have a bullet bill right here, why not? A6 and, no, that's a time number. Yeah, that is a time number, that's right. Hello, Simon Parathoner. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Welcome to the stream. And we're going to use the blue palette. I think that's right for the bullet bill. Put that there. And let's also just update speed, I guess. We're gonna use the non-gravity ones for this one, are we? Let's, no, let's use the same one that we use up here. Let's see here. Where do I put it? Oh, up here. Apply speed. Let's use this one. This one is better because it checks for terrain collision for us. Here. Can we do... can we use the ink source command in Pixie? Can we do that? If so, I would like to have a shared defines document here. Defines. Let's see here. Let's see here. Is this going to work? What if we do this? Oh, small d. Small d. Does that work? That does not work, it seems. Let's see. Define wasn't found, so we can't actually do this. We can't include the defines there. That's a big ol' shame. So why can we not do that? Is it because do we have to put this in this folder maybe? No, it doesn't work. Still doesn't work. Man, doesn't it make like a temp file here? Where does it put it? ASM main. No. I was sure it did something like this. Sprite temp. What is this? Ah! Here. Namespace nested on. Wait, is this generated? This is generated, right? Let's see. It was made 1 minute ago. So yeah, has to be generated as part of the author thing. When it's being called here. Entry. Oh, it just copies the entire file path, huh? Warnings disabled, warnings pushed. This is the actual patch that is authored. Shared.asm. Shared? Is that where we want to put our defines? Shared. Here. I don't really want to mess with this. Include ones. Target base offset. Aiming, yeah, we include all these routines, right? Spawn extended 0 equal to 0. Why does it say equal to 0? I have no idea. But wait, if it inserts this, why sprites projectile? Why can't it have sprite entry 0? Where did that go? Did it fail? So why can't we ink source from this? Why can we not do that? It would be very nice if we could, right? So, fuck it. I guess we shouldn't. Let's not fuck with this. We can do this later if it's really important. This doesn't exist anymore? No, whatever. Yeah, let's just keep it like this, I guess. Simple and clean. Speed. And refresh this. And we'll just keep clearing Y speed here to make sure it doesn't actually have gravity. And then we'll do blocked. Alright, this is so annoying. So we're just gonna copy this. And F to check all 4 cardinal directions. Equal here physics. No terrain contact. Here we just delete the sprite, which is it's gonna be another stupidly long defined name. One day I'm coming for you, Pixie. I will not let this stand. Let's see, we want this thing here, sprite status. That's pretty much fine, right? Yeah, we can actually use this. This is a fine define. Forget I said anything. This one is fine. No, let's not do that actually. Let's puff it. What is the timer that we're writing to? It's 1540, which is just... Yeah, let's do that. I think it's 1F though you write to this timer. I don't remember, but it's something like that. It's something very close to that. I guess I shouldn't have all of these here, but they can stay for now. They can stay for now. And now let's add another attack here. Throw rock. And we're gonna add a special rule for this one according to design in accordance with the design document. Here, let's just fix this. Throw rock. We're gonna copy the init code. We're not really gonna bother with animations for this one, I think. Not right now. We should. We really should. Let's set that up in a bit. And let's see, how does Pixie want you to spawn other sprites? Spawn, not spawn extended, spawn sprite safe. What's the difference between these? Is this one unsafe? Oh, I'm curious. Routine that spawns a normal or custom sprite with initial speed at the position plus offset of the calling sprite and returns the sprite index in Y. Da 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 da. Safe. What's the difference? Difference is that 4 equal to starting sprite index. How is this one more safe? Starting sprite index? What does this do? What does this do? Here. I have no idea why you would use this instead. I mean, it gives you more control over which slot you use, but you usually don't assume that you have any control over that anyway, so I don't see when that would matter. Alright, let's just use this one. And we are going to attack timer, we compare to 20 again. Any no throw. Here. Right, I guess we should add these at the top as well. This is kind of important. That's up here. stuff you should actually mess with. Boss num is going to be 0. This is the sprite number of the boss, and projectile num, this is the number of the projectile. It's very important that these match across the two files, like so. So we go back here to throw rock, and we get not boss num. Let's not spawn another boss. Projectile num. And then we go into spawn sprites, right? I don't know why they want you to use macros for this. I believe it gets compiled as a JSL anyway. That's what I've seen previously when I'm debugging anyway. We don't actually want these. We want... the offsets can stay at 0, but we want this to actually have speed and be aimed at Mario. So we're gonna close this and we're gonna look at the aiming routine. Let's see here. Input A equal to projectile speed. And these are going to be the X and Y deltas. And it outputs it like this. How annoying. It should output it in 2 and 3. So you can use it with this routine. Anyway, now we get to do this. 16-bit math. Yay! Mario X plus Mario X low. Oh, we don't need to do that. Let's do sprite. What am I doing again? Right, sprite X low. No, it's just X low, right? Yeah, I was really lazy here. And X high. Just put those there so we can load them in 16-bit mode in a bit. And then we get Y high. Put that in the high byte, load Y low, keep that in the low byte, go into 16-bit mode. Let's make sure we remember to go back into 8-bit mode. We subtract Mario's position. And do we add that as a define? Yeah, why not? Mario X. Yeah, Mario X, Mario Y. Then we go back here. Mario Y. We store this to... what did we store it to? Input 0 and 2. And it's shooter minus target. So this is correct. Shooter minus target. Mario's target. And then we get the 16-bit X position that we dumped in here. We subtract Mario X position. We store it back in 0. Right, we go back into 8-bit mode. We load... we don't load anything. Yeah, we load the speed. Let's use a really unfair speed, like 40. It's really fast. And then we go into aiming. And the output here is what annoys me. Here. I want these to go into 2 and 3, right? So we have to take 2, put it in 3, and then we take 0 and put it in 2. We have to do it in this order because otherwise this is going to overwrite this, and we don't want that. And we clear the offsets, keep it like this. This should work. Let's also give the... yeah, for now, let's just do this. For now, let's just do this. X low wasn't found. What did I call it then? Oh. What am I doing? I keep stumbling over my own define names. Yeah, I'm not really used to working here, right? I'm used to working on extramural. Throw rock, main, and no throw wasn't found. Yeah, it's right here. How is it not found? It's right here. Oh, right. Oh, man. I just remembered why I hate working in Pixie. So when you call these routines here, or when you use these macros, they actually insert labels. They insert labels into your code. So they mess with your sub-labels. And I hate that because I love using sub-labels. This is so annoying. I don't think we can do anything about this though. Like here, look, it inserts this as a sub-label and sub-sub-labels instead of using macro labels. Even though this one here, see, spawn sprite, this one uses macro labels. It even uses macro labels for these, for the plus and minus. I guess this one doesn't. Huh. Right, yeah, this is why I don't like Pixie. So, I guess we are not doing that. I guess we're just doing this. No throw. Yeah, awesome. Let's see if this works. Right, we didn't actually make the boss ever trigger this move, so we're not gonna have anything to test. Let's go up here again. Here, we're going to check the distance between Mario and the boss. Let's remove this, we don't need it right now. So when he rolls a new attack here, we get, let's update this as normal, I guess. Here, when we actually roll the attack, we do this. X high. This is not the most efficient way, but it's the easiest. Mario X, BPL. Are we really that try hard? We don't care about the +1. Let's just do that. Compare it to the threshold is going to be 80, I think. And then we set back into 8-bit A. And then if it's greater than this, we roll as normal. And then we're gonna make these into, no, we can't. Ah, they're gonna have to stay as, my precious sub-labels. I wish Pixie didn't do this to me. I have been compromised. Let's see, I'm gonna refresh my music real quick. Oh man. Alright. No hate on whoever made Pixie, like no hate really. It's great to have these tools in the community. It's amazing that we have anything at all. I'm just saying, please, can I have my sub labels in my sprite codes? That's all I want. And here, we roll as normal if it's less than 128 distance. Otherwise, we always go into attack number 2, which is throw rock. And then we go into fine. And let's see, the projectile still doesn't have a hitbox. Let's actually give it one. Should we give it, let's have it have a really unfair hitbox. Store to 4. Store to A. No, B. That's what that is. Y, and let's make it 16 by 16. This is gonna feel really unfair. Normally, projectiles that have a single 16 by 16 tile as their graphics have a much smaller hitbox. Usually it's like 12 by 12 in the middle of the sprite, or even 8 by 8 in really nice games. Games that really want to be nice to the player. So this full 16 by 16 collision is going to feel really unfair. Let's see, Mario clipping, is that right? Get Mario clipping and check contacts. No, damn it. Get Mario clipping, check contact, BCC, no contact, contact. And of course, as we did in the other code, we are going to add here Mario anim, BNE, no contact. Mario has to be in his normal state in order to interact with this. Here, let's see. Does he throw a projectile? It doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like it. Let's move the camera a bit if we can. Oh, he does, he does, he does. It seems like the projectile is despawning right away though. Is it spawning inside the ground maybe? Let's move it up a bit and it's spawning from this. And let's make this smaller so I can have it happen on the same screen. Let's just have it always happen for now. See what happens. Throw a rock and him squat, that's not what we want. Give him the idle animation, why not? Here. This is probably gonna be closer to the finished product anyway because he's gonna like swing his arm over his head and throw. So we want it to spawn above the ground anyway. Oh! 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 That sure is something. Oh! 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 That wasn't supposed to happen. So I guess I forgot to specify that it's a custom sprite. So let's do that. I think that should do it. Let's make it again. Does it do anything? Oh shit! That wasn't supposed to happen. Oh right! In the projectile code I'm not actually passing the damn tile map, am I? So let's see, I'm not resetting speed anywhere. I am resetting Y speed here. Let's not do that. Let's just counteract gravity, I guess. With this, that should counteract it. Because gravity is 3 in this game, so -3 on Y speed should counteract it perfectly. And I do think you have to do this before calling it, otherwise it sort of applies a little bit. Otherwise, it's gonna act as if speed is 3 more than it should be. So here, we're using a very similar structure for this one as the main boss sprite. I think that's appropriate. Yeah, tile map. Store this in 4, go back into 8-bit mode, and let's make sure it's properly passed. Yep, he's shooting bullet to Bilzo. Bullet to Biru. But they're not actually targeting me because they're not targeting from his spawn point. So let's make sure we account for that in the code because we don't want to have to mess with this manually, right? Maybe it should be like this actually, and then we actually just give this some gravity. It probably should have some gravity. Probably should have some gravity. So what if we just remove this? Why did I even make this a bullet bill? I don't know. Let's test it. Yeah. Ouch. Yeah, it actually sort of targets me, but it doesn't go super far. Yeah, okay, so we did make a projectile at least. We did make a projectile. I don't really know. I don't really like this arc. I guess we can. What can we do here? We can reduce the, or we can add something to the Y speed. I don't really know. That's not gonna target very well though. Let's add a random number. Why not? Does the random routine mess with anything that we care about here? Routines random. Doesn't seem like it. What in the world? We just JSL somewhere. What does this do? Does this mess with codes? all.log. Can't find it, but it has a label name then. Get rand. I don't think this messes with scratch RAM, but we're gonna double check. Doesn't seem like it does, no. So we're just gonna get a random number, 0 through 20, random, and wait, does it return with a equal to that? It does, right? Output a equal to, yeah. So we do this. CLC store there. So we're adding this here. It should be negative though, shouldn't it? Yeah, it should. Like so. To make sure it goes further up, and then we can still have the gravity. And this makes it like more chaotic, right? And then after it's thrown, we yeah, let's end the attack immediately. This is probably not appropriate later when we have animations to worry about, but for now, let's keep it like this. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, it's definitely doing the random thing, right? Right, this random routine is not very chaotic. It's not quite as good as I would like it to be. Oh. Let's see, how does this animation look? The puff animation looks fine, right? Puff up, puff down, and into nothing. Yeah, I think this looks fine. Oh! He should do something else here, yeah, and he does. Okay. So we have sort of set that up. I guess we should apply the friction here as well though. So this here, friction. Let's just make this a subroutine we can call whenever. Call friction. I don't know. I do wish you could put sub labels under normal labels. That would be awesome. I really like sub labels. Good friction. Let's add that down here. Under hitbox is fine. And then in rock, throw rock. We take this here in main and we just JS our friction. And that should do just fine here on attack when we're rolling. Let's put this back up to, I said half a screen. That's sort of, it feels really whack because of the camera that is moving. Let's put it like 6 tiles distance for now. Wasn't found. Friction. Alright, let's change this to return. If I'm too far away from him, he should start chucking stuff at me. And he does. He does. So let's see here. On, and then it's on you to approach him because he's gonna stay still. He doesn't care. Throw a rock. Let's make sure he always faces the player here. Sub horse position Taya store there. We can't do STY here because you can't index an address with X if you're doing that. So we have to do the Tyak opcode, and let's see here if it works. So this is what we're working with right now. This is the result currently. We might also want to set the projectile direction, but let's worry about like the way the projectile looks when we actually have graphics to work with, eh? Okay. So, and now you have to approach him through this like barrage, and then he starts doing stuff again. So this is sort of how the stuff is gonna go, right? And this is going to improve a lot once we get graphics, obviously. It's sort of difficult to do a lot more with this until we have the graphics and we know what animations and sort of like what sense of tempo we can work with and have it still look reasonable. So yeah, we've been going for 1.5 hours. So I think we're pretty much done for today. I don't actually know what we're gonna do tomorrow, but we have a lot of things we could do. Maybe I'll ask chat. Maybe chat will be helpful. Maybe you guys will earn my respect tomorrow if anyone will be watching. Because we have a lot of like technically challenging things to do. We have the random terrain generation. We have the centralized control for multiple sprites in phase 2. We have the HDMA background, but that's not high priority, so I think we should do that later. We have the looping level that we need to do for phase 1. So yeah, we do have some more challenging like technical stuff to work on that we could definitely get started on tomorrow. And that's like, as you can see, I've been working on this. Yeah, you're welcome, Simon. So I haven't done really anything off stream. So how much time does that mean I put into this? Like 5-6 hours maybe. And that's how long it took to get this stuff going, right? And this is actually like, if we look under the hood here, like this is actually pretty close to what it's going to be in the end. We're gonna do a lot of small tweaks, but like the skeleton is there. So it didn't take very long to get here, right? And I'm working way slower because I'm explaining a bunch of stuff and whatnot. The stuff that's gonna take the longest is the like hardcore technical stuff. The looping level, the random terrain generation, that's gonna take a bit longer. And the centralized control over multiple sprites gonna be pretty easy. I think the HDMA background gonna give me a massive headache multiple times, but it's not actually gonna take very long. It's just gonna be pretty painful. That's sort of my expectation whenever I'm doing anything with HDMA anyway. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Tune in back tomorrow. I'll keep doing this every day until we're done. I'm expecting it to be like, I don't know, between 30 and 40 episodes, I guess. Then this thing should get done. If it's not done by then, Light Vein will come for my head. Goodbye, guys. See you tomorrow.